This I say, he which soweth sparingly shall reap also sparingly, and he which soweth bountifully shall reap also bountifully. Every man according as he purposeth in his heart, so let him give, not grudgingly or of necessity, for God loveth a cheerful giver. The liberal soul shall be made fat, and he that watereth shall be watered also himself. Giving can be done through Patreon, PayPal, or Cash App. All links are in the description. As stated over the years, if you do give, let it be in accordance with the scriptures. Love you. Let's get it.
My grandmother practiced this spirituality we call Haitian voodoo. Magie, she was a mystic, and her mother was a mystic, a mumbo voodoo. The woman came over to the house to get work done. Her stomach was pretty big, right? Pretty big. You would think that she's pregnant. If you see a woman with a big stomach, you may think that she's pregnant, not necessarily obese, because her stomach was poking. Well, she wasn't pregnant at all. When she came over to the house, already had tools ready, tools prepared for her. So they knew she was coming. They would do work for people. There was a metal, a silver trash can almost, or bucket, right? Water and leaves was in this bucket. Okay. Ritual was done. Told me to go in the room, okay, because I'm a little kid. They told me to go in the room, but I'm peeking, all right? I'm peeking through the door, and I'm seeing what's going on. Make a long story short, this woman, to my understanding, used the restroom in that bucket. What was in her stomach was no child. It was a snake. She passed out a snake. It was an actual snake that came and dropped in that bucket. Now my great grandmother, fixed her up and everything, healed her. I remember hearing the older people talking about she cheated, she was sleeping with a married man. So the wife either did the work or contacted someone to do that work on her, okay? And they placed a snake in her stomach, and my great-grandmother got that snake out of her.
The serpent is central to voodoo, but it was also central to the religion of ancient Egypt, and it was also in ancient Babylon. And the cultures of Mesoamerica in Mexico also revered the serpent. But what race introduced it to these cultures? In the previous study, it was shown that this incense burner from the Sudan was discovered by Western archaeologists. It looks insignificant, but on a close inspection, what was discovered is that the Sudan, according to the New York Times in 1979, had the world's oldest monarchy. Not in Egypt, but in a culture much further down the Nile. The majestic figure on the incense burner, Dr. Williams said, is the earliest known representation of a king in the Nile Valley. His name is unknown, but he is believed to have lived approximately 3 generations of kings before the time of Scorpion, the earliest known Egyptian ruler. The new findings suggest that the ancient Nubians may have reached a stage of political development as long ago as 3300 BC, several generations before the earliest documented Egyptian king. So black Africans created the first kingship and pharaonic lineage in Africa in the Sudan generations before it was in Egypt. But they also introduced the pagan idolatry in that culture that included serpent worship, the very creature that was used as a medium to seduce the intellect of Eve. But it wasn't only in Africa.
Would you go into a temple filled with pythons? Well, I did. This is the Voodoo Python Temple in Oidah, Benin. It's an active place of worship and costs $1.60 to get. This tree has been here for 4 centuries, and you're only allowed to make a wish with your left hand touching it. Good wishes only. They believe there are spirits inside the tree. To go in this house, you must be initiated. And after initiation, you have to sit like this for 3 months without a top on, regardless of gender. This is a zingbin, and this pot is changed every 7 years. Virgins used to fill it with water. Now menopausal women collect the water because they can find no more virgins willing to do it. Sacrifices occur here, which is very common in Voodoo culture. Now, specifically in Oidah, pythons are worshipped. They love their snakes, and many people even scar their faces in order to look like the snake. It is a symbol of beauty to wear a python on your neck. I honestly felt a bit scared by this, but after I felt how docile the python was, and she assured me to just stay calm, I felt a lot more comfortable. They worship these snakes, and they're very well taken care of. Now, entering the python temple was a little scary because I did not realize how many snakes would be inside of here. There was one behind me, there was one in front of me. They were literally all around. I looked down and I asked if that was food in the bowl, and I realized there was a whole ass python in the bowl. Even behind me. I mean, this was pretty scary because they could just snatch you in one moment.
These pythons are mating behind me, and there's a bunch up here too.
This was truly an experience. I made a joke that when the python was going around this head like this, that he was practicing. I usually don't like to support any type of animal displays, but it's known that they take very good care of their pythons and they respect them a lot. This is a great example in the statue. Overall, visiting the capital of Voodoo was a great experience, and I highly recommend it if you end up in Benin.
This is the religion of Vodun in Benin, West Africa. People of this religion are known to carve 10 slits on their faces to show reverence to African ball pythons.
We are in Cotonou and Oidah precisely. Where we are is the Temple of Python. Say it, can you say it in French? I know Python is Python.
Temple de Python.
Temple de Python. Temple de Python. Okay, this is our curator.
You are in the Temple of Python.
Okay.
So, with the first name of Oidah, the first name of Oidah city is the Queda Kingdom.
The Queda Kingdom.
Yeah, and we have the 5 country to the white men who came to buy the slaves. The first is the Portuguese, we have the Dutch, England, French, and Holland. And these different countries translate Queda on the language. What did the Portuguese call Queda? He said that Judah. The England, Wahida. The Dutch and the Holland, Ouda. But the French is called Oidah. The last colonization is the French country. So everybody today call this city Oidah, but at the times is a Queda. Because Queda is the first names of the snake python. But all the city will have 41 temple. But this place is the first temple of the city, what I call the snake python temple. This temple here is in since 1624.
Since
1624. But to the temple we have celebrated different ceremonies every month, every year, and the biggest ceremony when I celebrate every 7 years. To the different ceremony we do to make the sacrifice to the different animal of this tree. This is a Iroko tree. But the tree have 400 years ago. So in this side we have two different pictures. We have the names of the snake python. In the first pictures we have Dangbe Dre. Dangbe Dre is a female python.
Okay.
And Dangbe Pong is the male python.
Okay.
The python that I have here is the king python. It's like the royal python.
Okay.
He's different to the cobra. He's different to the anaconda. He's different to the boa. These three pythons is very aggressive. But the king python don't do anything. You can touch it and put in your neck. While you are putting the snake python king in your neck, we have protection.
It gives you protection.
Yeah. This is the cemetery of the king python. Because,
Cemetery?
Yeah.
Oh, they die?
The python die when they have
Cemetery.
40 years or 15 years. And the python die. And when they die, we are buried them inside.
C'est le cimetière?
Yeah. So
Cemetery.
today this is a cemetery of the snake python. Only the different Egypt of the python go inside and the chief. But you and me don't go inside because you don't initiation.
Okay.
You are not initiated.
You are not initiated.
We understand.
Okay. So inside you have the snake python. The first time we're going to bring one python where they are touching together and you put it in your neck.
No, not my neck.
And the second time, and the second time we're going together to the room.
Okay.
First, I'm going to bring one python, and the second time we go together.
What does that signify? Ask what does that mean?
does it
Why would you have
signify?
to bring out one first? Pourquoi est-ce que vous allez faire sortir un d'abord avant de rentrer?
It's like just the processes of the visit to the temple.
Okay.
It's important the first time because everybody don't want to touch in or put in the neck. So it's important to give one first and we touch it together and after we go together in the temple.
Okay, go and bring one more. Should we put it on his leg?
Bring one. Il peut te suivre pour faire vidéo. First.
Oh, I've never seen a snake before. This boy is scared.
So come and touch. It won't do anything to you.
All of us have
Touch
to touch.
it.
All of us will touch.
Yes.
You can touch.
It won't do anything. Why are you scared? No, come and touch now. The one I put when I put mine was a black one. Please take him a picture. I'm even scared though. If I took this picture the first time I came here, it was war. You next.
Ready?
I touched you.
No, I don't want.
And put your hair backwards and do it. It won't do you anything.
I don't want.
I'm serious.
No,
I'm serious.
no, I don't want.
Okay, let's put it on your head.
I don't want.
Ne me fais pas. Viens, Laura, c'est bien. Ça va tomber. Yeah, who is next?
No,
Papa,
it's okay. We don't have. All of us
Yes.
don't have to carry.
You don't have to carry, it's not force. Beau piqueur, et non bleu, hang. Finish. Moi, je ne veux pas. Comme
No, don't worry. I don't want.
Elle ne veut pas, elle a
No, I don't want.
He's afraid of it. Okay, let him hold it and you take a picture with him. Take.
Let me see.
Stop the mouth. It's going down. It's falling off from that back. The other side. It's rolling round. It will come out.
You, why are you running now? See, you're not scared. You're running.
I've done it before.
yeah.
Moi, je fais ça 2 fois.
He said take pictures.
Mais avant que je finisse. Il a fait beaucoup ici.
Today we have 40 python into the room. But all the days the snake python drink just the water, what I see. But the night we open the door and the snake go out to the dawn. You can see the snake in your way, in your home. So we have a different population who bring the python come back to the temple. He's there. All the 40 python today can go out the night and come tomorrow morning 50 or more than to the 40 first.
So there are 40 pythons in here now.
Today, yeah.
In here, in this room.
Yeah.
They sont où?
No.
Oh, really?
C'est une expression que les gens utilisent parce qu'ils ne voient pas, ils ne savent pas comment ça se passe. Même les escargots, les escargots.
Donc ils ne voient pas.
But the one you brought is different from the ones we
Il faut expliquer les questions qu'il a posées.
Il faut que vous le traduisiez ça.
Ok.
Le python, comme je l'ai dit,
The python, as he said,
il est inoffensif.
it is very unoffensive.
Okay.
Et il faut savoir qu'aujourd'hui, ils sont 40 à l'intérieur.
You know that today there are 40 in this place.
J'ai dit tout à l'heure qu'ils ne boivent rien que de l'eau.
Il ne voit pas.
Ils ne boivent rien que de l'eau.
It eats nothing but water.
Et c'est pour cela que dans la nuit, on laisse la porte ouverte pour qu'ils aillent à la chasse.
And that is why in the evening you leave the door open. You leave the door open for it to go out into the city.
Et ils reviennent ici tout seuls.
And it comes back on its own.
Mais ils ne se produisent pas ici dans la case où nous sommes.
Ils ne se produisent pas ici. But they don't reproduce here in this room.
Ils se produisent dans une forêt.
They reproduce in a forest.
Réservé uniquement aux pythons.
Huh?
Réservé uniquement aux pythons.
Okay, reserved uniquely for just pythons.
Do you remember Damballa from Child's Play? Whenever Chucky would speak in his cursed tongues, the transfer spirits, right? Did you know that's an actual spirit from the Satanic Bible? Yes, it is. So whenever we were younger and we were watching Child's Play and Chucky, we were actually watching a real spirit being called upon. Now, of course, some people say, well, yeah, it's a movie. Well, did you know that movie Chucky was based on Robert the Doll? Yeah, Robert the Doll, which was a cursed doll, and whoever had this doll in their possessions would experience torment. This doll is currently being held at a museum, if I remember correctly. But yes, this is very demonic. This
Dambala, the snake, arched in the path that the sun travels across the sky. The primordial source of all life wisdom, at once the ancient past and the assurance of the future, the positive force which encircles the universe.
This is just a test. The big one comes later. This is just a test. The big one comes later. This is just a test. The big one comes later.
You wish to test me? Good.